Real Madrid. The name alone carries weight far beyond the football pitch. For some, it represents glory, for others, arrogance, and for many, it is the standard of greatness in the game. But Real Madrid is more than just a football club. It is a story of power, politics, war, identity, and triumph. It is the empire of football. To understand Real Madrid, we have to go back to the beginning, long before Cristiano Ronaldo lifted the Champions League trophy, before Zidane's volley at Hampden Park, and before Alfredo Di Stefano pulled on the famous white shirt. We must return to 1902 in Madrid, Spain. The club was founded by a group of football enthusiasts, inspired by the growing popularity of the sport across Europe. They wore all white, a symbol of purity and unity, though few could have imagined that this small group would one day build a dynasty unmatched in history. But Spain in the early 20th century was a nation of division. Political instability, class struggles, and regional tensions were shaping the nation's future. Football quickly became more than a game. It became a symbol. For Madrid, the capital of Spain, Real was destined to represent the nation itself. And soon, power took notice. When General Franco came to power after the Spanish Civil War, football was weaponized as propaganda. Franco understood that Real Madrid could be the perfect image of his authoritarian regime. Strong, united, victorious. The club became tied to the dictatorship. For many Catalans, Basques, and others who opposed Franco, Real Madrid symbolized the oppression of the central state. And for them, Barcelona became the symbol of resistance. Thus, El Clásico was born, not just as a football rivalry, but as a political war played out on the pitch. But Franco alone did not build Real Madrid's success. The true architect of their first empire was a man named Santiago Bernabéu. A former player turned visionary president, Bernabéu transformed Real Madrid into a powerhouse. He rebuilt the club's stadium after the war, naming it after himself, the Santiago Bernabéu Stadium, a cathedral of football that would host history for generations. Then came the genius who would change everything, Alfredo Di Stefano. In the 1950s, Real Madrid pulled off one of football's most controversial transfers, signing Di Stefano after a political tug-of-war with Barcelona. With him, the club became unstoppable. Joined by legends like Ferenc Puskás and Francisco Gento, Real Madrid conquered Europe. From 1956 to 1960, they won the first 5 European Cups in a row. No team had ever dominated like this. Football was no longer just a game. It was Madrid's empire spreading across the continent. Yet this dominance made enemies. Across Spain and Europe, Real Madrid was both admired and hated. For Barcelona fans, every victory was a reminder of Franco's grip. For rivals, Madrid's wealth, political ties, and arrogance made them the team to beat. Real Madrid was no longer just a football club. It was power in pure form. As the years passed, Spain changed. Franco's death in 1975 ushered in democracy, and with it, Real Madrid entered a new era. They were no longer the dictator's team, but the legacy remained. The 1980s saw La Quinta del Buitre, a generation of homegrown stars like Emilio Butragueño, who restored glory to the club. But still, Barcelona grew stronger, led by Johan Cruyff's philosophy of beautiful, total football. The battle between Madrid and Barcelona became more than a rivalry. It was a clash of identities. Madrid, the establishment, Barcelona, the rebellion. Then came the Galácticos era. In the early 2000s, Florentino Perez became president and launched a revolution. His plan was simple: sign the world's biggest stars, regardless of cost. Luis Figo, Zinedine Zidane, Ronaldo Nazario, David Beckham. Real Madrid became a global brand, the Hollywood of football. Millions of fans flocked to the Bernabéu to watch stars shine under the floodlights. But with glamour came chaos. For all their brilliance, the Galácticos struggled to win consistently. Politics, egos, and money clouded the team. Real Madrid had built an empire of stars, but not always of stability. Still, the legacy of the Galácticos reshaped football forever. Clubs around the world copied the model, chasing fame and fortune. Real Madrid had once again changed the game, but their greatest era was yet to come. In 2009, a new Galáctico arrived, Cristiano Ronaldo. For 9 years, he reigned as the king of Madrid. Alongside him were warriors like Sergio Ramos, Luka Modric, Karim Benzema, and later Gareth Bale. Under Jose Mourinho, Carlo Ancelotti, and Zinedine Zidane, Real Madrid built a dynasty for the modern age. From 2014 to 2018, they did the impossible, winning 4 Champions League titles in 5 years, including 3 in a row. No club in history had achieved such dominance in the modern era. Ronaldo became the club's all-time top scorer. Ramos became the symbol of leadership and fight. Zidane became the magician who guided them to glory. Once again, Real Madrid stood at the top of the footballing world. Today, Real Madrid remains the standard of greatness. With 14 Champions League titles, countless domestic trophies, and legends etched into history, they're the empire of football. But their story is not only one of triumph. It is also a story of power, politics, and identity. For some, they're the club of the people. For others, they're the club of privilege and propaganda. Love them or hate them, you cannot ignore them. Because Real Madrid is not just a football club. Real Madrid is history, played on grass, written in goals, and carved into the very soul of the game. And as long as football is played, the empire of Real Madrid will endure.